Wait, hold up. Tasha K is on live right now sobbing, mascara running, begging Cardi B for mercy like she just saw the Grim Reaper in a bacon bag. And in the same 48 hours, Latto out here posing with 21 Savage wife and her kids like it's the new season of Sister Wives Atlanta. Yo, the streets are not okay tonight. Body just went nuclear on Tasha's whole bloodline, and Big Mama got the internet questioning every life choice she ever made. Tasha really thought crying on camera was gonna work on the girl from the Bronx? Yo, before I get into this, if you haven't smashed that like and subscribed yet, what are you doing? This is the kind of breakdown nobody else got the receipts for. Tap in, ring that bell, and let's expose this whole thing together. Belcalis Almanza, Cardi B, filed a brand new federal lawsuit naming Tasha K, her husband Kebe, and his company Yellen Entertainment, LLC, in the Southern District of Florida. The filing reportedly went down in early November 2026, and it's a 72-page complaint stacked with fraudulent transfer counts. Meanwhile, on November 11th over on Instagram, Kiana Joseph, 21 Savage alleged legal wife since 2020, posted a picture with Alyssa Stevens, aka Latto, aka Big Mama, and the kids. Tasha really picked the wrong rapper to play chicken with. Now let's get into the receipts that show why this whole thing is collapsing. Okay, let me lay these receipts out one by one, because you'll need to see this with your own eyes. Receipt number 1. On her own live stream this past week, Tasha K was crying, and I mean real tears, not that fake YouTube influencer cry. And she said, and I quote, "I'm going to pay you. I just can't afford the 4 million. I don't have it. I know I look like I got it, but I don't have it." Yo. When I heard this, I had to pause my phone, walk to my fridge, grab a water, sit back down, and play it again. Because this is the same Tasha K who spent years flexing on live, popping bottles, mocking Cardi's bankruptcy clock. Now she begging? Bro said what? That's the corniest 180 I've ever heard a content creator do on camera. You don't get to spend 3 years calling somebody every name in the book, and then cry I can't afford it when the bill come due. Receipt number 2. In that same live, Tasha said something even wilder. She said, "Your lawyers can dig and dig and dig and dig until they dig through the earth's crust. Please, we welcome that. But please know that that is not on me. That's not on my expense. I don't pay for that. You do." Nah. When I read that back, I was like, is she actually taunting the lawyers who are about to repossess her life? That's the energy of somebody who has never opened a discovery motion. Tasha out here playing dare with a billing by the hour federal attorney, like that's not a flex on her own self. Receipt number 3. According to the lawsuit reported by Hot New Hip Hop and Chris Avalon, Cardi's legal team alleges, and I quote from the framing, "Yellen Entertainment began right after the judgment came down." Read that again. Bro, that's the kind of timeline detail that makes prosecutors lick their lips. A whole new LLC popping up right after a $4 million hammer drops? That's not a coincidence. That's a confession with a business license. When I saw that line, I was like, Tasha, you really thought nobody at Cardi's legal firm was gonna check the Sunbiz database? That's first week paralegal stuff. Receipt number 4. Tasha, even in that same crying live, slipped this in. And I also said too many kids love you to be reading stuff like this that you posting. Believe it or not, I said, Cardi, I love you. Yo, the audacity. The whole reason we're here is because Tasha said unspeakable, defamatory things about Cardi's child, her marriage, her health, and now she want to talk about the kids who love you. That's the dumbest pivot I've ever seen in real time. That's somebody trying to weaponize empathy after they already burned down the building. Receipt number 5. Switching lanes, over on Kiana Joseph's IG, the alleged photo dropped showing her, Latto, and the boys. And shortly after, the other baby mama posted videos of Latto. 3 women, 1 man, multiple children, 0 divorce papers filed. The caption energy? Family. Nah, you're really posting these like it's a reunion brunch? When I scrolled past it on my feed, I literally said out loud, Big Mama, 5 kids. What? Because Latto's first kid joining a group chat that already has 4 is a choice. Now that we got the quotes, let's connect the dots. Okay, buckle up, because the timeline on the Cardi versus Tasha situation is insane once you put it on a wall like a detective board. In 2022, Cardi won that defamation case, $4 million. In 2024, Tasha filed for bankruptcy. In 2025, a court hammered out a $1.2 million repayment plan over 5 years. Then this year, the judgment got reinstated in full because Tasha could not keep her mouth shut about Cardi's people. Now in November 2026, the new federal fraud lawsuit drops. That's not random. That's a 4-year strategy from Cardi's team that Tasha walked right into with her eyes closed. Now check the relationships angle. Cheikhna Kebe ain't some random husband. He's been in the YouTube blog ecosystem as a behind-the-scenes operator for years. The lawsuit reportedly names Yellen Entertainment as a new vehicle that allegedly took over operations from Kebe Entertainment after the judgment. That's not a marriage anymore at that point. That's a co-defendant arrangement. And here's the part nobody's saying. Tasha has self-admitted on a previous live that her husband was the one who told her, just keep going. Don't let Cardi stop you. That advice? That's the worst legal advice a spouse has ever given. He literally talked his wife into a fraud lawsuit. Past beef context. You'll remember Tasha didn't just keep going about Cardi. She kept dragging Offset, Stefon Diggs, anyone in Cardi's orbit. That violated the gag-order vibe of the original judgment, which is exactly what gave Cardi's lawyers the green light to come back for round 2. So when Tasha was on live taunting dig until you dig through the earth's crust, Tasha, baby, they already been digging. The husband's company being included, that's evidence they hit pay dirt. So Tasha did this whole tour of taunts, while her husband was registering a new entertainment LLC? That's terrible timing, brew. That's the move of 2 people who genuinely thought a Brooklyn-raised millionaire wouldn't hire forensic accountants. Tasha really thought nobody was gonna connect Kebe Entertainment to Yellen Entertainment because the name changed a little bit. Any halfway smart attorney would have told her to shut up, take the videos down, and disappear for 18 months. But Tasha clearly doesn't have advisors. She has fans in her chat hyping her up like that's a legal team. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Now check this out. Nobody's talking about the linguistic forensics in that Tasha Live breakdown. Zoom into ONE specific phrase she used. I don't pay for that. You do. That one line, right there? That's not a woman speaking from emotion. That's a woman who has been coached, and coached badly. That phrasing is straight out of a low-budget judgment-proof YouTube tutorial. Real lawyers don't tell you to taunt the opposing party about who's paying. They tell you to say nothing. So whoever's giving Tasha advice right now is reading their playbook off a Reddit thread. And Tasha really thought she was cooking with that line? Nah, brew, you exposed your whole defense strategy in 8 words. Zoom into another piece, that word WE. She said, please, WE welcome that. We. Who's we? Tasha. You and the husband? Because that one pronoun just confirmed everything Cardi's lawsuit is trying to prove, that there's a joint operation between her and Cheikhna handling these assets. You don't say we welcome that if you're a solo bankrupt blogger. You say we if you're operating as a unit. That's the kind of slip that gets highlighted in red ink in a deposition. If Tasha had half a brain, she would have noticed this before she went live. Now zoom into the visual forensics of Kiana's alleged Latto post. Look at the t-shirt Latto's wearing. Eagle-eyed fans on IG noticed it's the same shirt from a video she posted earlier that same night. That's not they happened to bump into each other. That's a coordinated, same day, same outfit photo op. They were together. And the kicker? Kiana had already liked Latto's business and personal pregnancy announcement video months back. That's not a coincidental like. That's a cosign. That's a public stamp of approval that says I know, I'm fine with it, post your album. And 21's wife really thought we wasn't gonna pull up the timeline of every single one of her social interactions? Brew, the internet has receipts older than your marriage. One more piece. Forensic pattern analysis on the whole Sister Wives rollout. It's happening exactly 2 weeks before Big Mama drops on May 29th. 2 weeks. The pregnancy reveal video, the Kiana photo, the second baby mama posting Latto videos. That's a publicity campaign disguised as personal life. If Latto's team had half a marketing budget, they would have spread these stories out. Instead, they dumped them all at once because the album streams demand it. Latto playing the long game chess match while everybody else playing checkers in her comment section. Now let's see how the media covered this. Different outlets framed these stories in very different ways, and I want y'all to pay attention because the spin tells you everything. Hot New Hip Hop framed the Cardi lawsuit as a calculated asset-hiding scheme exposure, emphasizing the fraudulent transfer counts and the timing of Yellen Entertainment's formation. That framing favors Cardi heavily because it treats the new LLC as a smoking gun. Chris Avalon's reporting took a more legal procedural angle, focusing on the Southern District of Florida filing and the inclusion of false light invasion of privacy history. That framing is colder, more clinical, and honestly more dangerous for Tasha because it reads like a prosecutor's roadmap. Then you got Revolt going back to the 2022 framing where Tasha originally claimed she couldn't pay, and they basically previewed that this "I can't afford it" defense was never going to hold up. 4 years later, that early revolt take aged like fine wine. On the Latto side, Hot New Hip Hop framed the Kiana photo as side-eye worthy but unconfirmed. They are hedging. Capital Extra went further, framing the whole situation as 21 Savage essentially confirming the Latto relationship through silence and lifestyle. That's a spicier framing that basically says stop pretending this isn't real. Now the counter-narrative. Some Tasha K supporters in the comments are claiming this new lawsuit is Cardi B harassment, that she already won. She got the repayment plan. Why come back? But that's the same crowd that thought Tasha was gonna make a triumphant comeback after bankruptcy. The receipts don't lie. When you keep talking after a court tells you to stop, that's not free speech, that's contempt with a YouTube channel. And the people defending Tasha right now? Those are the same people who thought dig through the earth's crust was a clever line. I can't take legal commentary from somebody whose research is "I saw it on the live." On the Latto side, yeah, some fans are saying Big Mama got coerced into the situation. Nah, Latto's a grown woman with executive power at her label. Don't infantilize her to defend her. But here's what nobody is saying. Something about this whole double story timing feels OFF. Think about it for a second. The Tasha K crying on live moment and the Kiana Latto sister wives photo dropped in the same news cycle. Two completely separate dramas. Same week. Same headlines. Same women publicly losing or accepting their position narrative. And the culture is reacting emotionally to both. But nobody's asking the bigger question. Who actually wins in both of these stories? It ain't Tasha. It ain't Kiana. So who is it? Here's my angle nobody's gonna touch. This is about industry positioning and survival economics for black women in entertainment. Cardi B isn't just suing Tasha for $4 million. Cardi is sending a message to every blog, every YouTube gossip channel, every podcast host who built their platform off lying about women in hip-hop. She's saying, I will sue your husband. I will sue your LLC. I will sue your shell company. I will sue your cousin if your cousin co-signed a loan with you. That's not pettiness. That's precedent setting. Cardi is creating a legal template that every female artist is gonna use going forward. Tasha really thought she was just on the hook for a $4 million bill. Nah, brew. She's about to be the case study every law school uses for fraudulent transfer claims against bloggers. That's the OLD media playbook getting buried in real time, and Tasha is the corpse they are building the headstone for. Now flip to the Latto situation through the same industry lens. Big Mama drops May 29th. The album features 21 Savage. The pregnancy is with 21 Savage. The Sister Wives rollout is right before release week. This isn't romance. This is a coordinated rollout. And honestly, Latto might be the smartest marketer in rap right now. She didn't just announce a baby. She turned an entire complicated family situation into a 6-week content cycle that's gonna pump streams from week 1 to week 6. Every blog covering Is Latto a homewrecker is a free advertisement. Every TikTok arguing about Kiana is the algorithm pushing her name. Latto is playing chess. The blogs covering her are playing checkers. And Latto's critics? They keep saying she could have done better. But better by whose metric? She's the second biggest female rap album of the year. She's about to retire on top. She has a child with one of the most respected rappers alive. Better how exactly? You'll confuse personal life choices with career strategy, and it's why you'll don't have careers. And here's the real cultural shift nobody's clocking. Both stories are about women refusing to play the game on the OLD rules. Cardi is refusing the let it go, you already won once rule that the industry used to apply to female artists who had been wronged. Latto is refusing the be ashamed of your situation rule that used to silence women in messy relationships. Tasha and her defenders represent the old culture, the culture that built billion-dollar empires off dragging black women's names. Kiana's haters represent the old culture, the culture that needed female rivals to fight for clout. Both of those cultures are dying in real time, and you're watching the funeral happen on Instagram Live. The scary part isn't even what's happening publicly. The scary part is what this means for every other blogger watching at home. If Cardi wins this fraud case, and let's be real, with that 72-page complaint and that Yellen Entertainment timeline, she's winning. Every single defamation defendant in the country just got a new playbook used against them. Tasha is about to be the reason gossip YouTube changes forever. And her defenders? They are rewriting history to make her look like a victim, but the original story was always the same. She made false statements about a woman's child, her health, her marriage. There's no version of that where Tasha is the hero. The manufactured free speech martyr persona is collapsing under the weight of an actual federal court docket. And that's the truth they won't tell you on the main blogs, because half of them are scared they are next on Cardi's list. Nah, this is about to go left in 3 different directions. Let me show y'all. Path 1. The collapse path. When Cardi's legal team gets full discovery access to Yellen Entertainment's books, and they will, because federal courts don't play about fraudulent transfer discovery, Tasha and Chekna are gonna be in a position where every property, every contract, every payment processor for the last 4 years gets subpoenaed. Wait till they pull the formation documents on Yellen Entertainment and match the dates against the original judgment. Tasha is gonna look desperate trying to explain why an LLC popped up the same month her bank account got frozen. Mark this, when the contempt of court hearings start rolling in, that's when Tasha's live streams are gonna stop. Forever. You can see the shutdown coming already. She's gonna lose the channel, the brand, the merch, the podcast deal, all of it. And her husband? Chekna ain't built for federal court. That man gave his wife the worst legal advice of her life, and now is about to learn the consequences of that conversation in a courtroom. You're about to watch a YouTube empire dissolve in real time. Path 2. The silent war path on the Latto side. Watch the next move carefully. Big Mama drops May 29th, 21 Savage is on it. Mariah the Scientist is on it. WizKid and Glorilla too. The pattern is becoming obvious. Latto's last project, her retirement album, her grand exit. When that album drops, you're gonna see a coordinated press push where Latto, 21 Savage, and Kiana all stay completely silent about the family dynamics. They are not gonna confirm. They are not gonna deny. They are just gonna let the stream stack. And every time a blog tries to make it spicy, the algorithm gives Latto another bump. That's the new media warfare, silence as a weapon. Then 6 months from now, when the album has done its first 500 million streams, expect one of these women to do a sit-down interview that reveals the real story. And whichever one does it first wins the next career chapter. My money's on Latto pulling the Beyoncé move, long silence, then a documentary that controls the entire narrative. Path 3. The culture shift path. This ain't even just about rap anymore. The culture is shifting in real time. 5 years from now, people will look back at November 2026 as the month where 2 things changed forever. 1. Gossip blogging as a business model got a federal nuclear strike to the chest. After Cardi finishes with Tasha, no insurance company is gonna underwrite a defamation-heavy YouTube channel. The whole industry has to pivot or die. 2. The home wrecker narrative as a marketing concept for female rappers gets retired. Latto is showing the playbook. Don't fight the other women. Don't hide the situation. Don't apologize for your choices. Just drop the album and let the streams settle the debate. Every female artist watching is gonna copy this. The old media model, built on female rivalry, public shaming, and gossip blogger empires, is collapsing simultaneously. We're watching the end of an era and the start of a brand new one where women in hip-hop control their own narratives without explanation, without apology, and without permission from the blogs. Whatever happens, one thing's clear. Tasha already lost, and the bloggers screaming Big Mama should have done better already lost too. The future is being written by the women they tried to control. They just haven't realized the pen got taken from them yet. So drop a comment and tell me, Do you think Tasha is going to prison before this is over, or is she gonna disappear off the internet trying to save what's left? And on the Latto side, sister wives situation or strategic album rollout? I read every comment, so don't hold back. Smash that like if you got the full breakdown. Subscribe so you don't miss the next expose. And stay locked in because we got receipts dropping all week. The blogs are running scared, and we're the only ones telling y'all the whole story. See y'all in the next one. And by the way, tomorrow we're dropping something wild about who else might be on Cardi's next lawsuit list. There's a name floating around that's gonna shock y'all. You do not want to miss that.